Hi, I'm Sherry, and this is a short tutorial on how to make the Chemo Caps for the Piecemaker's Quilt Guild. In your kit, when you get a kit, you'll have a cutout cap, you'll have a small piece of batting for the brim, a small piece of elastic, and instructions, and a card that you can sign or put a note on when you're finished. So the first thing you do when you get the kit is to open it up, and the first step is to fold it down between these two notches. I usually take the felt, the little piece of batting, center it, and put it right in there so that I know I have the seam, the fold over deep enough that it'll cover. And then you iron it between these notches. You also fold the bottom up, you iron this down, put a little 1/4 inch fold over under there, and make a little band. That'll be sewn there. When you have that done, and it looks like this, this is how I usually fold this under and pin it all the way across just to hold it while you're sewing it. Once you've sewn it, it'll look like this. There will be, you sew it along the curved edge as close to the edge as you can get, and that'll hold the batting in nice and firm. On the bottom, you sew a 1/4 inch seam to make your band. Take your elastic, I put a safety pin in one end, I thread it through, and on the loose end, line it up with the edge. Sew back and forth a couple of times so it's nice and tight. Work your pin through out the other side. When you get the elastic over to here, you can take the pin off. Make sure it doesn't slip through. Smooth it out and then tack this end of the plastic nice and tightly. So that's the first two steps. Once that's done, you have to work on the ties of the cap. So you take these long ends, you put right sides together, match the notches, and sew either a 1/4 or a 3/8 inch seam from the notch down to the point. I then trim it a little just to get some of the excess off so it folds easier. Turn it inside out. Use a skewer or whatever, the point of your scissors or something, to get the point out, and turn it neatly wrong sides together and press that. You do that with both sides and you'll have your ties made. The next step then is to close this seam that makes the back of the cap. This seam, right sides together, will match up your elastic band to the end of the opening from the tie. These fit together nicely, and you just lay them together like that and sew the seam either a 1/4 or 3/8 inch. And when you turn that over, that'll make the back of your cap, as you can see here. There's the seam, and this makes the back of the cap with the elastic at the bottom. The cap is finished now, except that depending on how things worked out here with your seaming, how close you were able to get, there's a little bit of a gap here between the tie and the elastic. This folds in neatly, but it can be either hand stitched or tacked with the machine just to hold that in, neaten things up a little bit. I find if I use a 3/8 inch seam rather than a 1/4 inch seam, that this gap is neater, not as much to fill in there. And so that's the finished hat. And this is the way the hat looks when it's done. Ties in the back, nice elastic, neat in the front, and all the people we've given these to seem to really appreciate them and feel that they're very comfortable and they enjoy them. So I hope this helps you remember and that you're willing to make lots of caps. Thank you.